Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 375th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Cremond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops ongoing for several years now. And once again, we are honored to have the members of the Universal Council and support members to join us today to present today's program. So without further ado, let me get that arranged here, and we will begin.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. Always, all the love, always, my dear. Thank you so much. And my dear beautiful soul, from the core of my heart and soul, gratitude for being here always, for being here as love, light, and enlightenment. And welcome, welcome, welcome to Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, and organization. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful, beautiful energy of beautiful soul universe. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of love, light, and enlightenment. So, welcome, my dear one. I want to say, in India, there is a poet. He written a song of love, and the song is in Hindi. They say, महबूब मेरे, तू है तो दुनिया कितनी हसीन है, जो तू नहीं तो कुछ भी नहीं. That means, my love, if if you are there, then the whole universe is there, and the love I can feel. If you are not there, there is nothing. So I will say that energy is infinite, my dear beautiful soul. You are infinite. The universe doesn't exist without you. You do not exist without the universe. Our world is a reflection from the inside out. We are all mirror each other. We all mirror each other. And this is how, well, in India we say the gods came to touch the love, have an experience that, and many have fallen, materializing it. But now we understand how to create this, how to understand the love in a form of energy within each other. Thank you, my dear, beautiful soul. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you so much for being here.
Next, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rick.
I just wanted to say that next we have the wishes, and I'll remind people that we have a full minute of silence to help enact and contemplate the wishes. And take it away, Mark.
Thank you, Rick. We, the Universal Council, add our energies to the conditions being created that brings all of us one step nearer to understanding transmutation through emotion, through cosmic rays.
We, the Universal Council, give through our soul gratitude and love for all souls being part of this transition from this existence as we know.
We, the Universal Council, wish for changes worldwide to bring peace for all.
We, the Universal Council, create conditions for elevation of the Universal Council member to achieve peace in the planet Earth and beyond.
Next, we have Mehran with the connection between souls.
Yes, hello, everybody. It's Mehran's Universal Council support for Farsi language. As of teaching of Mr. Keshe, we learned that human being has created a body around the soul, and the soul is in the head, in the middle of the head, a small hole, and which has a lot of energy. And in fact, it's the boss. It's well protected. And then there is body constructed around it to serve it to get to its mission, to its level of maturity. And between them, there is the emotion which is created, which are the fields. And these fields carry the order from soul of physicality through physical body. It looks a bit complicated, but in fact, it's three things like the three layers of the skin. Soul is in the interior, emotion is in the middle, and the soul of physically, it's outside to protect the others. And what we use here to get easier to what we want, instead of using physicality, we use our souls, and through our emotion, we get, depending on how strong is our fields, we get to what we want. And we learn here that for our collective efforts, the goal is the soul of humanity, because it's a vital necessity for using the Keshe technology, which gives us access to abundance and access to space travel. But it's not possible if we are in this killing illness, actually. In fact, this killings bothers everybody because it's illness in the body, and the organs which are near that zone are primarily affected, and the other zones also are affected. When we have a cancer in the stomach, we cannot walk well, we cannot think well, we have problem in the head, in sleeping, and other organs are suffering. That's how we are. And that's why we need a teacher to convince us that we can have a better life, we can have more profit if we go other way than killing, which is the lowest level of achieving the goals. And so we use this soul in here, and we connect our souls, because when we focus this energy together, it's like laser, and it has a lot of effect. And if we have, depending on the purity of our emotion and our hearts, we can create what we really desire. That's what we do as a habit in Keshe Foundation. We do it every time we are thinking about or we see something, we give from our soul for that problem. And especially every night at 9 p.m., we gather the souls together, all together, knowing that they are others at the same time. We open our souls, our hearts, our emotion, and give through peace. And now in Middle East, we hope that there are some maybe negotiations or indirect negotiations, whatever, that they really find that it's a waste of energy to do wars, and they lose or they have, and at the end, nobody is a real winner, the wars in the history of man. So we wish for the peace, and we gather our souls, and we stays a little bit in that level of gathering our souls. Now, if you permit, I do it in my own language. در این جلسه کوتاه ما روحمون رو به هم وصل میکنیم به سوی هدفی که داریم که در درجه اول صلح بشری است. روح چیه؟ در تئوری آقای کشه ما یه جسم داریم، یه روح جسم داریم، یه روح داریم و یه احساسات روح و احساسات روح بدن داریم. در واقع مثل سلایه پوست است که داخلیش روح، وسطیش احساساته و بیرونیش بدنه، جسمه. جسم ماده است، روح انرژیه. دو چیز موازی که با هم حرکت میکنن. ما در اینجا یاد گرفتیم که اگر ما از روحمون استفاده کنیم سریعتر به هدفمون میرسیم. بنابراین ما در ساعت 9 شب هر شب به وقت اروپا و هر موقع که احساسی داریم روح‌ها رو به هم وصل میکنیم و با هم به سوی صلح برای بشریت هدف میگذاریم و همچنین روح رهبران رو اضافه میکنیم. از روحمون بدون هیچ بدون شایبه به اونها میدیم، چون اگر ما به روح این رهبران بدیم به خودشون میان و میفهمن که راهی که میرن با جنگ و جنگ افزاری راه دنیا نیست و وقتی به خودشون اومدن خودشون راه خودشون رو پیدا میکنن. خب حالا که فهمیدیم روح چی هست، در خودمون ها در هر حالتی که هستیم سعی میکنیم آرامش پیدا کنیم و روحمون رو آزاد کنیم، قلبمون و روحمون و احساساتمون رو آزاد میکنیم و با دیگران که در همین حالا با هم هستیم در همون ساعتهایی که گفته شده یا ساعتهای دیگه روحمون رو جمع میکنیم برای هدف صلح، برای هدف دادن از روحمون به بزرگان و تصمیم گیرندگان جنگ در دنیا که اینها روحشون از تشنگی و گرسنگی درآد و وقتی که روح اینها به اصطلاح سیر شد به صورت عادی بفهمن که راه جنگ نیست و راه صلح بهترین راه برای همه است. و در این حالت چند دقیقه میمونیم. خیلی متشکرم. So there is something from Mr. Cash which helped me to know where my soul is at first. It says, I love you, my soul. I live you and I love with you and I adore you. When I wanted to assist transmutation the first time, I didn't know how to expand my soul. Then I thought of this. I said, I'm talking to something or somebody. I address something that is called my soul, and I tell him, I love to be with you. So that for me was a line that made me think that is my soul. And then it was easier for me to clarify what's the difference with soul of physicality. And I thank everybody in the world who does this gathering of their souls and humbly desires for the peace. We do our job and we just wait for the results. I thank you all very much. Thank you. While we are together with others in connection of souls, we wish that we elevate the soul of leaders to achieve permanent and lasting peace as part of the soul of peace and totality.
Okay, perhaps we could mention about the gathering every day at 9 p.m.
Yes, thank you. We have decided that every night when people come home and they have finished their in some places what they have to do, and they sit down or whatever, how they are, they unify their souls and they participate for the soul of the universe. And it's at every night at 9:00 p.m. CET. We can do it whenever we want also. Thank you very much.
Okay, next I have a video about becoming a Universal Council member. So let me play that. It's an extract from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Okay, I'll play that now.
There's something which I should have made announcements. As we are structuring in a new development of Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of many languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
If I can add a little bit, if you think that you have a desire to help, you think that Keshe Foundation is what we need, and you like to be part of the service and the effectiveness of the foundation for people of your language, you can ask for also Universal Council support. If you think Universal Council may be heavy for you, you become Universal Council support, and even though the age is more than 60, it's okay. and you just help as you can without um, thinking that you might have heavy responsibilities. So it's just your heart. If your heart wants it, don't hesitate, because we work by the heart and by our souls. There is no other criteria. So good luck. Thank you.
Okay, back to our presentation here. And next we have the commandments with Joseph. Hello, Joseph. Are you able to open your microphone there? Not seeing it open at this point. All right, well, perhaps we can skip this and come back to it, or would someone
Maybe
like to...
Joseph will open it up a little bit. I'd like to make a few comments on this. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And this is, I think, the 9th commandment. And of course, I went on Wikipedia and looked up a little bit, and I'm seeing it as, in a way, two sort of aspects of this. Yes, we should not testify against a neighbor wrongly, let's say in a trial or in a court case or something like that. I know in the olden times, if you were to testify falsely against someone and they found out that you had perjured or lied about the case, then you would receive the punishment of the accused. So that's one aspect of it. Another one is withholding. If you know someone's in trouble and you have evidence or you can testify of their innocence and you don't, in a way, that's another way. Even though you haven't really testified or said anything, you could have extricated that person out of the situation by testifying. And of course, we see this in the prosecutors do this many times. It's called exculpatory evidence, where they have evidence that the accused is actually innocent, but they don't share that with the defense team. So again, this would be a form of bearing false witness against your neighbor. So it's not encouraged, and there was punishment for that. And of course, there is punishment today. We call it perjury. If you swear under oath that you will tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and you end up giving false information, you can be charged with perjury. Not necessarily what the accused would receive, but these are a separate set of laws. And I know they use this regularly with people that are cellmates of accused people, and they get them to testify falsely because they'll lighten the person's sentence that's making false statements. And I know this has happened with President Trump. I've actually heard that from Roger Stone, one of his closest advisors, that whatever the case was there about being a Russian agent, and they said to Roger Stone, if you'll just testify falsely against President Trump, we'll drop all the charges we brought up against you. And he said he wouldn't do that. And so, of course, he went to jail for a period of time. I don't know how much punishment he received. But now, of course, it's all coming out with the declassified, some of the things that have been opened up. Okay, so that's bearing false witness against your neighbor, or maybe even spreading mistruths about your neighbor. That he cheats on his wife or he beats his children or something like that, which is not true. Then I was thinking, well, don't we do that ourselves with our closest friend? Don't we testify falsely when, for example, we say, the Creator said I made the man in the image of myself? Every time I went to religious leaders and to ask them to explain it, that's not what it's supposed to mean. It means something else. You're not really made in the image of the Creator. You have to be saved, or you have to be redeemed. You're a fallen creature and all this. So I think this is bearing false witness. And of course, we see that with Mr. Keshe as well, where they say on the internet that the plasma science is a pseudoscience, or again, a fake science in so many ways. So we see this quite a lot. But again, don't we deny the existence of our own soul and its capabilities? And isn't that, in a way, bearing false witness? Where Mr. Keshe said in the last workshop, you don't need wormholes, you don't need black holes, you don't need transmutation system. It's within you. And of course, this is what we've denied. And this has been a theme of the Keshe Foundation, that most of the things that we're being exposed to, we've been the ones that have denied our closest friend, or in a way testified against it, where the soul doesn't exist. Even talking about the soul around the Keshe Foundation for some people is a little bit uncomfortable. So I think there's two aspects. Yes, one in the matter state where you'd say the words, but also bearing false witness against our own soul, that it is our Creator, and it will examine us or judge us in the rest of this. So that's what I wanted to share about this. And we need to stop denying who we are and what our capabilities are. And I think that's part of bearing false witness, if I can be so bold to say that. But of course, we know the commandments didn't work out so well, especially the one, thou shalt not kill. And of course, now there's a new path where we're going to elevate the soul of the man, which then will teach the physicality, where the commandments were given to elevate the physicality to teach the soul, or to reach the level of understanding of the soul, but it didn't work out so well. So they're going in the direction of elevating the soul. And of course, as we've heard, and that elevated soul will then teach the physicality. And that's what we heard. The key is to elevate the soul to serve. And this is the key, in not creating something in the physical dimension, if we could look at it that way. So this is the elevation of the soul. But again, it's up to us to deny or accept in a way. But I think we are, in so many ways, if you understand it, we're actually bearing false witness against our closest friend, which is the soul of the man, which we've denied. And that's what I wanted to say. Joseph, are you there, or does someone else want to add something?
Yes, my dear. Yes,
I wanted to add also, if you want. I was thinking that this false testimony to somebody else is a kind of lie and is stealing. That even though the other one or nobody knows it, we know it in our soul. We know it is unconscious. What is stealing from our soul? Is something we have done which is wrong. So we always say we should not steal from our souls. Every time we lie, every time we steal, every time we kill somebody, we steal from this diamond which has been given to us from the first day. And then at the end, when we die, we have nothing left. It's just like a leaf, like a feather, which goes to the darkness of the cosmos. Instead of being a powerful light to go where it creates, in fact. So that's why we should not steal from our souls. I think maybe this about not to talk about others. I even heard that even though we are saying something about that person who doesn't like it, if he was there, that's kind of taking out of something from their souls. Like I used to talk about my mother to my brother, and I was feeling bad all the time. One day I thought maybe that's what I do if my mother was here, even though it's truth. She didn't like it that I propose these things about her. So I stopped even talking to my brother for some time. And then I felt I got back my unconditional love. I got back my relative calmness. And then I noticed that my soul was telling me that's not a good action for me. If I worry about this plant of my life has to grow correctly and purely, that's not a good thing to do because it might hurt somebody. The consequences is hurtful to others. And yeah, I think the soul, all religions are there to develop the soul and make us join the light of God who created us. So everything which is against this development in the right place creates a bad effect on our purity of our emotions. And so that's something we pay with our emotions. Like in teaching, he was saying, Mr. Keshe, it depends on purity of your emotion, how you can do things with your emotion, or even move a spaceship. So it's so important that the emotion is clean, and this plant, this tree is a nice tree without any weaknesses at the ends, because we know that there is an end. There is not an end with the end of life. There is a continuation. And we know that we are here temporarily to better our future, to be planted in a garden. So it's so precious that we protect our souls and emotions. And I wish it for everybody, because every time I didn't have a unconditional love because of the environment, I lost my happiness. And we are here to serve and unconditional love as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mehran, my dear. I also want to add that these false witnesses has created this whole world, the condition. When false witnessing from young people, us, like World War One, World War Two, and the Auschwitz, who are the bodies in the Auschwitz, where the bones are collected and turned into pieces. Who are they? They said, the press, the media said that those are, we know what they said. But everybody has said, yes, that was a false witness. And then it came out that, okay, there will be a new state for the security of them. And then it came out like this. And after the war, what is after the war living. We are living in after the war. And now again in India, I will say the Hindu-Muslim riot, the division of India, the Hindu-Muslim riot, false witnessing them. Even if the government saying the Hindus have killed the Muslims have killed the Hindus, and because of them they have to be different in different nation, different community. They are very, very different from each other. And then this false witnessing of us has become this division of India and many countries as the Romans did. And it has been in this way factualized everything that are we now. Still in India, still in India, still in India, in few days ago, there was a riot in Murshidabad, as the press says, Hindu-Muslim riot, but Hindu-Muslim riot, but people false witness that. I tried to explain them. This is so fake. This has not happened in the zero level. People never has this weapon, arise weapon for the neighbors. That has never happened. They lived peacefully forever. Why do you fake witness? I mean, why do you believe in these things? Even you know what has happened from eons, but now people well oppose my thought. You know that what I'm saying that no, this has been happened before. This is now also. Even the literate, knowledgeable people are saying in the news, in the public that this has happened, but this is so unreal, untrue, lie, and killed many because of this, and killed the emotion of so many people. So false witnessing, these type of things create this matrix again and again in a war and then a peace, in a war, in a battle, in a riot and then peace. So we should not do that. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, and you can create this. You can create this mess of this matrix, I will say, and yes, of course, collecting your way of suffering too. So be truthful. What you see, don't false witness. I've met many people. Still, I'm saying. I will be saying always, thank you. Thank you, my dear beautiful.
Right. And as you say, Shweta, nations do it against one another. I was thinking of Iraq when they said that Saddam Hussein had these nuclear weapons and he was going to bomb the United States in the next 45 minutes and had all this capability and scared us that we went to war under the pretext of lies. And of course, we saw that in Libya as well. We see that in the Middle East, and we see that against Iran as well. So it's not only people against people, it's nations against nations bearing false witness to create mayhem and destruction, to rob banks or the national banks or whatever they want to do there. So yes, we need to stop bearing these false witnesses, not only against each other, but against nations. And that's why we're moving into the one planet, one nation, one race for world peace.
Beautiful, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shweta, it's Dean here. May I quickly just add something to this, please?
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. So the commandments, and we've spoken extensively about this particular commandment. And through the teachings of the Foundation, Mr. Keshe, the Universal Council, the Knowledge Seekers, the core team, and all the beautiful souls that are present with us, they've all come to understand that the ethos of the knowledge of the beauty of what you are as a soul, that when you do these things, there's always a balanced position. So and I say this many times, and Mr. Keshe said this many times, from an atom to a universe. So it depends on your viewpoint and where you are transferring your viewpoint from and to, and at what point. If you do this on an individual level, in a family level, then the balance will be for you that you create a plasma, a condition where the soul of the man, unlimited in its spectrum of energies within the totality of the universe. And in this tiny little planet, it still shines very brightly. And so when you have a viewpoint that is very limited, just focused on a matter state condition of a storm in a teacup, is an old English saying. And if you just condition yourself and limit yourself to this one aspect of what you need to achieve, what you need to understand maybe a little, if you allow yourself to, is that you are an unlimited soul. And the energy transfer is not just now in the physical form. It's the soul is eternal. It's an energy. It's as it was spoken about before. You become the light. Do you want to be of a lower spectrum and receive very little, or do you want to be a sun, a cosmos, a galaxy, a universe? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to be? If you want to limit your understanding to this one part, then that's fine. That's your, I suppose, your right to do as you wish. However, when it affects others, then you are stealing, you are taking, not just from your own self, but from the others. And that payback gets more. So when we do it from an individual level, for ourselves, that's a certain aspect, a certain understanding that we have. When you do it as a head of a nation or a head of a family or a religion, then you're going to pay back to all the souls. Understand the beauty that you have within your structure, and you have a responsibility to conduct your soul and your knowledge towards this understanding of the knowledge that's being shared. We can all make decisions in the moment, but if we do, as we've spoken about many times, those three wise men, thinking, speaking, and acting in a certain way in the moment, you'll realize you can't move one way or the other. The consequences to your own physical energy transfer is affected. And at the point of realization of this, when you let go, the moment you think that you would like to change, it's already begun. So the acceptance of the beauty within you, whomever you are, realize that we're all part of the totality of creation, and we receive the knowledge as a gift. And once you receive that, you're very responsible for the knowledge you possess and the beauty that you have. So thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor or yourself. Thank you. Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
This is Mosfek. I would like to add a little bit without making it too long, perhaps, and thanks all of you for your wonderful words. I will use a simple language I can think of. It's like gossip and fear. This false witness is to create, gossip. And gossip, what does gossip do? Once we do false witness or gossip, our focus is on no longer on creation, but on diminishing or destruction or lowering of something. And so that's the field that goes out. So the effect is magnified, as Dean was talking about. So we are creator. So this takes us from our creator within and everywhere. So it takes us away from all the creators around us for whom we are the false witness. So we are moving away, diminishing ourselves as we go. How much that is, we can all imagine, considering the number of interactions we have around us. You know, I'm not going to go into this religious context of hell, but Mr. Keshe has mentioned it, so I will say, well, you know, the descriptions of hell that I've heard of or read about, you know, it sounds, I mean, it feels much worse than anything I have ever read. So, you know, let's focus on things to create and not to diminish others or destroy others, as we are seeing happening all around us. But as we all know, as we elevate them, we bring in the creative ability. So those who diminish has no choice but to diminish themselves to something that is no longer relevant, a dust somewhere in the universe. Thanks.
Thank you so much, my dear Marshall. Thank you.
Nick, did you want to add something? I'd like to add one more point, but go ahead, Nick.
Thank you very much. I much like to add about these commandments. Then they're not only for us to do, but they're also for us to learn what other people do to us. So, like entrap us or bear false witness. So it's up to us to always have our guard. And by obeying the commandments, it's like having God as your friend, and the other people won't be able to use and break those commandments on you by using them. So it's up to us to be responsible, know that other people will will break those commandments and use them on you to ruin your life. Thank you.
Right, and as we've heard from Warner von Braun, not that I'm a fan of his or anything like that, but we had the Cold War, he said, then we'll have the war on terrorism, and the final card would be the alien card, that they would create a false scenario that our friends in the universal community are here to take over the planet or to control us or to eat us and all the rest of these. And of course, this is again a false narrative. And that's one of the reasons the Universal Council is here, to dispel that false narrative and to work with and join with the universal community. So this bearing witness against our neighbor is not only in the earthly dimension, it's also been extended into the universal community as well, that they're trying to create a scenario that these entities, these beings are here to take over. But again, this is part of the work of the Universal Council, is to dispel those myths, and we'll be meeting some of our friends from the universe in a very short time. And of course, as we understand, the universe is quite a peaceful place, and it's not the way it operates here. So I just thought I'd add that.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Vajik.
Mark mentioned this one. It just reminded me of something that, you know, what is being done here is, you know, there is a fear that's being created. So when we create fear in others, isn't it bearing false witness? So whenever we do that, we diminish that being that we created fear in. And that's been a habit of a certain group of people, including those who wants to say that we are threatened by aliens or whoever that may be. it's not just alien. I mean, we see it all around us. And you know, people are kept in poverty this way in the region I am in. So from the little things that is being done to the bigger, let's say the false alien thing that Mark is talking about. It's again the bearing of the false witness to diminish others through fear. So how do we know that we have false witnesses or people who are engaged in? We see fear. And as long as we stay away from fear, we are away from it. We are unaffected by this kind of effort that's mentioned here by various elements around us. So it's in a way it has taught us a lesson, and we are learning very well. So we are almost there. Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of mine.
Thank you, Moshfik. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rick, perhaps we can move to the next slide.
Yes, I was just going to say, if there's no further comments, let's move on to the next part, which is our Q&A with the UC, questions and answers with the Universal Council with Marie and Claudia. And this will be from their Saturday, April 5th workshop. And I believe that'll be the last workshop in this series, and they'll be doing something different next month. So let me get that up here and shared, and we'll listen in on this week's question.
So then we are on the third question. How is it effectively possible to get high-level plasmatic energy down to matter state?
Então vamos para a terceira pergunta. Como é possível efetivamente passar a energia plasmática de alto nível para o estado de matéria?
The first answer, by reducing the speed of the fields.
A primeira resposta é reduzindo a velocidade dos campos.
And there's another answer. Look at the video that has been shown in 583rd workshop of last week, and you will get the answer there.
Veja o vídeo mostrado no 583 workshop, e que foi mostrado a semana passada, e você encontrará a resposta lá.
And there is another answer. By understanding inertia, you are surrounded by rays, fields, and plasma. You are the chef in your own kitchen. All the drawers and trunks around you are full of these rays and fields. It's up to you what recipe you want to make. Make a cake, a pancake, or a bread. Higher energy that becomes denser becomes matter. We live in that lower state of energy. Through our soul of physicality, in line with our soul, we are connected. Bring both souls in line, and you experience heaven in physicality. Why? Because then the magic becomes knowledge. We wish you happy practicing in everything you do.
Então, outra resposta é: ao entender a inércia, você está cercado por raios, campos e plasmas. Você é o chefe de sua própria cozinha. Todas as gavetas e baús ao seu redor estão cheios desses raios e campos. Cabe a você qual receita escolher para fazer um bolo, uma panqueca ou um pão. Energia mais alta, que se torna mais densa, se torna matéria. Vivemos num estado mais baixo de energia. Através da nossa alma da fisicalidade, alinhada com a nossa alma, estamos conectados. Alinhe as duas, e você vivenciará o paraíso, na fisicalidade. Por quê? Porque então a mágica se torna conhecimento. Desejamos a vocês uma prática feliz em tudo que fizerem.
And we have another answer. We are one energy, always connected to the common source, to the universal source. We are always connected. No one is ever isolated. No energy is an independent entity on its own. One of the principles of how the universe works is that the strongest gives to the weakest. This allows the weaker energy to increase its rank and reach a level of similarity with the highest rank. Similar energies also attract and increases as one.
Somos uma única energia, sempre conectados à fonte comum, à fonte universal. Estamos sempre conectados. Ninguém nunca está isolado. Nenhuma energia é uma entidade independente por si só. Um dos princípios de como o universo funciona é o que mais forte dá ao mais fraco. Isso permite que essa energia mais fraca aumente seu nível e alcance um nível de semelhança com o mais alto. Energias semelhantes também se atraem e aumentam como uma só.
So then we are on the fourth question.
And the fourth question will wait until next week's presentation. So thank you to Claudia and Marie for today's third question. And now we'll go on to the next part. And now we have the knowledge and understanding from the 586 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, which was on last Thursday. And Stefania will be discussing that knowledge. Go ahead, Stefania.
Okay, thank you. Rick, can you hear me properly? Can you hear me
Yes.
well? Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
sounds good.
Perfect. Yeah. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This is Stefania from I'm represent Italian language of the Universal Council, and today I was gonna talk about the 586. I have to say I've been sweating a lot about this because it's very again another very another workshop that has got a lot of depth into, so much that took me days just to go through the first part, and a lot of time I thought the first part kind of changed my life. So and then I went to the second part, and the second part also is in depth, so a lot of knowledge, and I had a lot to go through. Try to think how gonna explain in just 20 minutes the workshop of last Thursday. For me, it was really mind-blowing. So, okay, let's start. I thought also to give a quick summary. So apologize if I don't cover everything in the workshop. I highly recommend you to go in and listen until the end. Even we got maybe 11 questions, even question number 10, even the last questions are so important, mind-blowing. So you have to go through the whole workshop. So I decided to break it break it into a few days. So here bits of each days, because each part, you will listen over and over. So for me, a week was not enough, to be fair. But next week we're gonna, in a few days we're gonna have the the 587. So here we are. Yes. So Mr. Keshe this time again went really deep on the magnetic fields, and went really deep on talking about emotion. He explained, give the example of the physical side and the energy side. Now most of us are aware of. People who follow the Keshe Foundation by now, they are used to the fact that we got two life, the physical life and then the energy life. And Mr. Keshe called them like yin and yang. So there is no yin without the yang. So it's very interesting. Okay. So he also make the example of of how to get the water from the cup. So you got two ways. You can walk and get the water and drink it, but this is the physical way, or there is the energy way, where you have to understand how the fields works, and how the fields of the creators, how can we connect to those fields, and how can we get the fields of the water without going to drink the glass of water. And this was one of my questions that I wanted to ask you, if you know how to get the fields of the water without drink it, because Mr. Keshe going in depth. All the first part is in depth about this, is in depth how, for example, he said, to get the fields of the water, you have to be lower, you have to be humble. It is not about receiving, but it's about achieving. You have to connect with the needs of the water. So we have to learn how to connect with the needs of the people, and if we want to know how much to give, how much to receive. But the bottom line, because we have to be lower, the bottom line, from my understanding of all this talk of the first part, was like you have to just give. That's why we go back to giving unconditionally, because if you keep in giving unconditionally, you just give, and then you will be able to receive through achievement, not just passive receive, because you will have given unconditionally. You will connect to the fields of the water. You will felt the needs of the water. You will know how you will just give unconditionally until the fields of the water will be fulfilled, and the glass will be so full that then the water will come out of the top, and you will gain the fields of the water, because there is now too much water, because you give so much fields to it. So I don't know if it's clear, this bit, but this was, I wanted to make like I give you different question that I want to ask you, and we can discuss regarding the last workshop. So the question I make was also, how can we recycle emotion? Because Mr. Keshe going also into of what is emotion. How can you replicate the emotion of the motion, um, or you replicate the the emotion of the motion. You know, it really going into a lot of emotion, the importance of emotion, that everyone's got emotion. Everything that you can see is attached to emotion. And Mr. Keshe said there are a lot of emotion that we are not aware of, that we need to know if we want to become traveler of the universe. There are also, you also talk about inertia. And another question for me was, I wrote it down 1 second, because I wrote so much stuff. So for me, it's very difficult to shorten everything in like 10 minutes. So he said, place and time and position of is equal of inertia of the motion. So even the inertia has got emotion. And so he also go very in depth about explaining what is place, time, and position. He talks about the different fields, the fields of the matter states and the fields of the energy fields. So he talks about that they are different from each other, and he's going to even explain the differences between the mass and the weights. Like the mass never change, but the weights change because the weights is also interact with the fields of the environment. So I cannot. I wrote everything, but it's a lot of page. And resume in 10 minutes, 9 page, that I try to write it down of things, important things that Mr. Keshe said on 587 is literally impossible in 10 minutes. So other question, how do you materialize? Mr. Keshe go in depth to explain how we can materialize things. Once we understand the mass and the weights and the difference between the mass and the weights. What else? There are a lot. Yes. Just a second. I'm just. Yes, as I said, he's really going on and on about the importance of understand how emotion is and how can we control emotion. Even go through talking about dreams. And there was another question I want to make about dreams, because by listening his workshop means if we can then manipulate dreams or control dreams, means that we can control the emotion of the fields. Because he is going to also say the dreams, the name of the dreams is really kind of bad name, because it misguides us. Because actually the dreams are our soul, and that work with the emotion of the soul and the emotion at the fields level. And if you're able to control those, then you have a say also on what you create. And you're also going to talk about the list of the creator, what is the wish of the creator, how the creator creates. This is all told in 586. Really, there is going to explain why, really explain in depth how we can travel from A to B, for example. And that it's again he compare with the dream when we're going to see when, for example, at the moment everything happen for coincidence, everything happen for, we said happen without us knowing. But I said if we really understand the work of the motion, we then have better control on what we want to create, what is going to happen next. So you said about the dream, for example, you said that when you dream about your mother, it's not a case. So you connect with your mom because you had a need to go to see your mom or to connect with the fields of the energy pack of your mom. Doesn't matter if she's dead or she's alive. The energy pack, the fields, they always are. You know, we don't die, so at the energy level, so you can always connect. So you create this connection, but you have to understand how to create this need to then have this connection with your mom, and once you understand that, you understand how to also transmute from A to B. It's go more in depth because it talks again about what is emotion, what is inertia, what is these fields, how you can create. For example, he also said that the emotion are the dynamic motion of the fields is connected to the matter states. But then you have the motion that create the motion of the motion at the fields level. You know, so all this. So I really invite you to listen, take time to listen the workshop. As I said, I wrote 10 pages, and here we are. I'm trying to explain to you in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but I can't. It's impossible for me. So yeah, so let's see if I can say anything else about the first part. Okay, yes, it's gone again. It talked a lot about the gravitational and magnetic fields, at the energy fields, the energy fields, and the for example, he said that the magnetic gravitational fields of the energy fields that create the mass that is unchanged. They then, when they connect with the environment, can be your planet Earth or can be the moon, they have their own energy magnetic fields. For example, you can you will change your shapes and size and the culture in correlation to the environment of where you're going, of destination. That's why if we're going on the moon, we cannot go with a monkey suit, with the suits of the astronauts. But if we do it in the transmutation way, we will then take shapes of the fields of the environment of the moon. And this will explain why in different regions of the planets we have different race, different color, because your magnetic fields, magnetic gravitational fields of your soul will interact with the gravitational magnetic fields of the environment of the place. Okay, so what else? Okay, this is the first part. There is more to it, but I cannot. I'm really. There is more to it, but I already run out of time. So then it goes. Then we go into the pause, and we're going into the announcement, the brilliant announcement about Rick Ramon, that he will be one of the 6, and we are all very happy for you, Rick. You know, we were talking in the UCS meeting yesterday, how much happy we are. So really happy for you. Lisbeth, she said she even cried when she got the news of you being part of the 6. And we all agree, like Mr. Cash, you cannot be the better candidate than you. So we wish you the best, and we're very happy for you.
Thank you very much. Stefania.
Yeah.
From all of us,
Good
Rick.
luck. Yeah, from all of us. Yeah.
Yes, from all of us, indeed.
Yeah. Yes, so Mr. Keshe so talks about Rick, how it's founder about Rick. He thinks the best person for this position, about the transmutation. He's been like the creator, he never asked, and things went to him, because this is what he said: when you truly are in the position of the creator, you don't move around, things comes to you. And this would happen, for example, to Rick. He never offered himself or anything. He stay always where he is, and things came to him. So, and he really wished for this for a very long time. So here we are. He done it. So he create. Well done, Rick. Yes. So let me see about other things I wanted to say. Yeah, again, being humble. These are the fields you have to be. You have to be in the fields of being humbleness if you want being on the position of creating and give unconditionally. So yeah, I said many things. I said the difference between the physical dimension and the soul is the emotional satisfaction of what the body can do. So this is again another very, you can go really in depth with this sentence. Okay, so let me say. So really it went over understanding the power of emotion. And to believe the power that we have inside and within. So we don't need tool, we don't need a machine, it's everything inside us. So we really need to start to understand who we are, and really understand to practice and the things we can do, and we can be like the creator. Some questions were about the smell and the sound. So they were very, very interesting questions, because apparently the sound is very, very important. There is the emotion of the sound. There is emotion of everything. Another very important question, he went to talk also about the toothpaste. He make a big announcement about the toothpaste and how some of the ingredients are very dangerous, because the toothpaste has got the function of depleting the body with the ingredient that there are in the toothpaste, because you brush your teeth and then you split out the ingredient of the toothpaste, and that it's a way that your body can interpret it in a different way, because if you put something in your mouth and then you split it out, your body, it thinks you about to receive it, so it will get rid of the things of the same ingredient that is already have in the body. So we really need to understand how the body works. That's why it's very important to have a true knowledge. So then we understand what we can do with certain material or certain product. So I really recommend to go and to look for your toothpaste at home, look the ingredient that you have, and look the deficiency of those ingredient, what they can cause. Obviously, he warned people about look up for zinc. The element of zinc is being put out into the toothpaste, and this can cause big problem, because then you will deplete yourself from zinc, and it can cause depression, can cause weight loss. So it was big you said announcement about toothpaste. Then he went more into the atomic part of the digestion system. That is also was very interesting, and how we have a wrong perception that digestion system, the stomach is not acid. It's got a part that it's alkaline, and it's a part that it's acid, just to digest the matter state food. It's very interesting also that part. Is going to talk about again the emotion, where he compared the emotion. He said, if I want to give a definition of the emotion, he said it's like the three layer of the skin. So you got the inner side, and then you have the middle. The middle is control what goes in and what goes out in fields, emotion in fields, and then there is the outside, the outside part. So to me, the emotion, it really sounds like being like same as inertia. He described it, but this is what I understood. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it sounds like the inertia is like the emotion of the fields. And so you have to really understand how to create the differences of fields and how to satisfy the need. You have to create the right emotion. Yeah, this is all. Okay, I'm ready. I don't want to confuse you even more. He went into to talk a lot about the transmutation session. And the next one in May, they're gonna use a very new system. So the system they develop even further, and the system again they can do a lot of stuff. They can create a different type of condition for different type of emotion. So good luck, and even Yorick and the other and the Magic 5, you will also use a very advanced systems and product. Yes, as you will be able to test and teach us in the future. What else? Yes, he's going into the product as well a lot, into the cosmic ray product, and he said that a lot of the cosmic ray product can be added to stuff you already bought, like the bundles. He talked about the soap holder, and also I think the soap holder, if I'm not mistaken, they have some cosmic ray in them, and that's why they are very, very precious. And even the product, the other product in the store that you can buy, who's got cosmic ray inside, you can put them around the house, and they will change. They will change the environment of the house. And then we have a testimonial, like a Gerard, that he had the testimonial of the cosmic ray product they received at home, and he had already big change in just a week. Yeah, these products are worth it, and if you don't spend money in those things, where do you want to spend it on? So if you have to spend on know yourself, and also to get a better word and better understanding, so we can all move forward. But this is brilliant. It also went into talk about the fusion when we die. Was a question from Filippo. It was again another mind-blowing question. It's one of the last ones, so I recommend you to go, because there also it makes us understand why we elevate the soul of the leader. Why is it important to elevate? Why is it important to not create not why we do this elevation of the leader? Because he said that literally when we start the next cycle, so in the point of death, you can call it, your position on where you're gonna go next is dictated of what your soul has done here. So is the energy fields that your soul are gathered that will and also the and the energy of the fields of the creator, this will decide the position of where you're gonna be next. The environment is just said it's just like a little twig to maybe change little things, but the main things is what you've done in this life. It will very much decide the position of where you're gonna be in the next cycle. So that's why we elevate the leader. We try to elevate everyone because can you imagine everyone who does wrongdoing, it will be, I cannot imagine where we're gonna be next. So we need to elevate. So what else things to say? I think I said a lot. So I put out some question for you. So the question was, so how can we get the water from the cup without moving? And also the other question for me was, which is the wish of the creator? For me, I answer it like I said to myself, unconditional giving. And yes, and then the other question are the one I said before. How can we recycle emotion? Because Mr. Keshe, he went very in depth on how can we recycle emotion? How can you become the gravitational of the creator? So for example, you can recycle your emotion in such a way that then you can elevate or be part of the creator or the creation. Okay, so I think I had enough. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. So, but it was very difficult for me to summarize the last workshop. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone wants to add anything.
We have Irmgard with a hand up here, so I'm wondering if she has a question regarding this. Irmgard, do you want to go ahead, or?
I think that was an accident.
Oh, okay.
Irmgard, anyway, there was your question in 586 about the ash of your dogs.
Oh, my dog?
I'm sorry to hear about your dog, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about it.
Yeah, my dog. Well, on that one Friday when we were supposed to gather in London, I think it was the second half of the session, I was awake and I was imagining what it was like in the room with all the people. I was sort of on the side away from the windows, and most everybody else was on the window side. And all of a sudden, my dog showed up, and he was going away from where I was and greeting everybody else in the room. And that's what it was. And it just gave me that wonderful feeling. He can be with me anywhere. He's my best friend. He's my timekeeper, or he was. And he didn't have to be shipped in a crate. He didn't have to have shots. He didn't have to have all those crazy things that people come up with for dogs to go places. He just was with me. I mean, he didn't stick with me, but he was right there and greeting everybody in the classroom. And I asked Mr. Keshe on my report, I said, "Did you see him too?" But I didn't get an answer.
The dog are the master of unconditional giving, so he will be your teacher.
Oh, he is fantastic. He was fantastic. Yeah. And I still have his ashes here with me. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them.
Don't brush your teeth.
Brush my teeth.
Don't do
yeah,
that.
well,
This was a suggestion.
Or make soap. You know, I could make soap, and his love would be spread around further. Because he was the most loving creature, except with other dogs.
Yeah, but now
people.
Yeah, now we know that we can connect, you know, the connection is never lost, and you can connect to your dog anytime you want. So we have to
Yes,
just get better and better on connecting, on
yes,
being
and
charged.
it was a great comfort to me because initially, of course, I was missing him and I was in mourning, but now I know he's anywhere. He's anywhere with me, and he can be with me when he wants to. And if I want him, I can just call him and he'll show up. So,
Just a quick question. Did you notice if the dog's tail was wagging during that transmutation experience?
he's a Rottweiler and he has a cut tail, so there isn't a whole lot to wag. But his whole body expresses his love. His whole body he's very heavy, very Rottweilers are pretty good size with lots of muscles and lots of presence, you know. And he just went from person to person, greeting everybody.
That's happy.
Yes. So, any more questions?
No, thank you. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we could, I don't know if you want to answer the question later on and we go forward, or if anyone want to add anything or what I said.
Stefania,
Yeah.
can I quickly say something? It's Dean here. Can I just quickly say something to
Yeah.
Irmgard about what you were speaking about? It was interesting listening to you guys. And I've written something down from the 586 Knowledge Seekers workshop that you've been speaking about. Thank you very much. And so I'm gonna read what Mr. Keshe was actually some of the words that he spoke, and it was and he said because we link to the emotion of the structure of the central energy of the place, time, and position. Our inner emotion interacts with the magnetic field of its environment, and that emotion dictates our future. Inertia of the emotion of the land is the dictator of the culture, the figure, and the feature of the man in the dimension of physicality. So, from my understanding of reading those few words, we are creating our future in this very moment when we link to the central energy of a particular source. And from our viewpoint, from our emotion, when we direct that energy strength in a certain place, time, and position in the physical form, then we are going to start manifesting, we're going to start transmuting the matter state to rearrange its central energy to match what we've focused upon. So we're creating our future in the moment. And I think listen to Irmgard about her beautiful dog. I'm sorry about your dog, Irmgard, I really am. But we all know that wonderful dog has reached a certain stage of transmutation. And as we know, the central energy is forever. And for you, through the emotion of the attachment to the physical dog, but the soul of the dog is always present, as you know. And to interact with that being, that soul, is just a matter of connecting to the central energy. And you can do that at any time or place or position that you choose from. That emotion is stored within your records and is part of your structure now. And so that emotion is always linked for us all to interact with. Thank you, Irmgard. And by the way, Irmgard, you sound very, very switched on now. Your voice and your memories and your mind seem to be very, very active, and it's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. And I just want to add one more thing. I had not requested his presence. I was totally startled when he showed up. You know, that was quite a wonderful surprise. So that's all.
Yeah, thank you, God. I'm sure there was a reason that soul was there, particularly in that moment for you to as you say, it showed up at the right time and place and position for you. And I think we all have this capability of interacting and being at the right place and the right time and position. Thank you, God. Thank you, Stefania. Stefania, carry on. Sorry, I didn't want to stop you. Thank you.
But no, I finished because we can go on and on how my main question was how can we test the water? How can we fill up the cup? How can test the water without moving? So Mr. Keshe explained this a lot in the last workshop. There are specific steps that he give ideas of, like first of all you have to wish, but you have to create the emotion of humbleness, the emotion of the need. You have to create this emotion of this need, that it's something that your soul needs to survive, but you have to do also with humbleness. And the water, so as you give in unconditionally to the water, because also you understand their needs, then the water will fulfill and will give you the taste of the water and the energy of the water. There is steps, he said step by step how to do it, that we have to practice to become master of this. In this way, we would no need to kill. Yes, so I think it's enough from what I said. So if you want to go forward, yeah, I think this Mushfaq with the transmutation, maybe you can tell us more on how we can test the water.
Thank you, Stefania. Very good job you did.
Thank you.
I tried to read again, and I think this teaching, as you said, was profound in a sense that he went in the profounder of transmutation, which is the emotion and quality of emotion, and how the purity of emotion can create things happen. And he says about yin and yang. That's the Chinese. They say cosmogony, cosmos, goni. The way they know the cosmos in Chinese tradition is that everything is in duality. It's like yang is night. I'm sorry, yang is day, yin is night, yin is left, yang is right, yang is man, yin is woman, yang is light, and the other one is right. Everything is the two parts. And as long as nothing is coming out of control, really, to disbalance it completely, everything is okay. So it's kind of give and take, and like magnetical and gravitational. And as long as they are in kind of give and take, it's okay. When something goes out completely, it gets ill, it gets bad, and it may destroy one of them, which is too much in one way or the other. So the whole thing is to create balance between this duality, because there is not black and white. There are grays, and there are the whole thing between these two. Like in the night, the darkest point of night, when like at 4 o'clock in the morning, is the smallest point of light which comes out. Which the Muslims, they took it as the way of prayer of the morning. It's the smallest line of white in the sky. That's when the day, the energy of day starts. It's not just when the sunshine comes. And it's the same thing for the darkness. The day goes lighter and lighter, and the moment getting the dark coming in is like about 11 o'clock, something, the stars to come down. So that's the whole thing about balancing in culture of Chinese. And in some place he said about man is yin and creator is yang, means we are still in that balance. When we go out completely, it's too bad, we are lost. If we get close, we become light. And he said also, when we are very, very humble, instead of pushing the cup to give some water to us, and we are thirsty in our extreme humbleness and thirst, the cup, with communication with cup, it wants to satisfy our thirst because we're too small and it's bigger. So, and then depends on the purity of our emotion. It should really communicate even with water. And it satisfied the emotion of the thirst in us instead of physicality of the water. So it's really deep and practical about emotion. And yeah, as you said beautifully, the emotion of inertia, because he was not talking very much about that. So if there's an emotion of inertia to the place and time, then this emotion has connection with us, which are in this dimension. And that's again creative. In fact, in here, he wants to say what's really in here, which creates balancing creation, is the emotion. And how strong is it? I mean, that's the theory, but in practice, we can do that. And the future navigation is with the emotion of the captain, the purity of emotional fight. So, as you said, that needs practice and detachments and the not stealing from our souls, probably. And thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, because Maranas, yes, because exactly what you said. We need to from my understanding, we need to practice how how to create the need, certain need. No, so we have to create a certain need to be able to how you said it. For example, to get the water the water from the cup without touching it, we have to kind of create the need of the water. Also, we
The
need to create,
emotion,
yeah, the emotion,
the
yeah,
emotion of need.
yeah, the emotion of need, yeah. But you also said also how you said I lost now, but yes, there are also the emotional. You said the emotion of, for example, is different from receiving and achieving, for example. So you have to create the emotion of I forgot the name of, when of satisfaction, to be satisfied. He said that when you have this emotional satisfaction, is the emotion when your physical soul, your soul, your body can do what your soul wants, and your physical soul. So that is the kind of satisfied. You have a satisfaction feeling. He make an example of the woman who, do you remember the wife that she was sick because the husband was never happy. So once we understand emotion, we can play with it and materialize. A lot of stuff can be done basically once we then truly understand emotion. And like Maranasi, you were saying, no, he said you can create the feelings of the emotion of the child in the wound of the mother, and we can even create a perfect soul, because that is also one of the goal of what we're trying to do, to create a perfect soul that will not commit any crime, and therefore, we can live in a perfect world. Um, yes, so, and also he said also microchip, because everyone go on with microchips. He said, okay, because Mr. Keshe is very good, I noticed, to take the technology of today and turn into advantage. It's like a knife. A knife you can use for killing, or you can use for cut a rope to save someone. So the same with the microchip. I never liked the idea of microchip. But you see, Mr. Cash turned it around and said, if we understand the fields, how to create the motion of the fields, and we can also create the microchip, the plasmatic microchip, that they have a motion of they only doing good, because plasma can only be good because we are connected with the creator. So creator means someone that create. Yeah, so like us. Yeah, so it talk about microchip. It took also robots who always gonna be good robots. Yeah, do you want to add anything, Mark?
Yeah, Stefania, this is Nick. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Nick, nice to
Yes.
hear your voice as well. Oh, so
Yeah,
great.
hi, how are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, yeah, we
Just
can
to
hear you
answer you
properly.
about
Go
just to
ahead.
answer you, thank you. Just to answer you about the water, how you drink from the cup or fill the fields. I've been practicing with a water and a red apple. So what I do, I actually get a cup of water, I put my finger in it, I have a little taste of it first, and then I put my hand on it and I say to myself, and to the cup, I say, I give my soul to the fields of this cup of water and to the soul of this cup of water. Please take everything you need and all you need and as much as you need, so you can be pure again and get all the chemicals out of you like you should be. And while I'm doing that, I try to tune into it by my taste. So obviously I've drinking water all my life. So once I taste that water, the fields of it, I can feel it in my mouth. I can like replicate it. And then I know I've got a link in it. Do you understand that?
Very much so. Very much so, because I've been doing a similar practice, like you said, with the apple. So I understand that very, very much so. Yeah, this is the practice that, yes.
Yeah. And me too, with the red
Sense.
apple.
Mm-hmm.
I grab it and I say, I give my soul and everything I have for you to take all the chemicals out and be pure like you should be. And then I try to, of course, I've eaten apple before. I don't actually take a bite of that apple, but I've eaten apple before, and I try to replicate that. I try to hold it and feel how it is eating it and try to replicate the taste. And then I know I've got the connection. Once I taste that apple, the memory and the feeling, I've actually linked in, and I try to hold it. The longer I hold it, the more I've linked in, and I know I'm actually interacting with the field.
Yeah, yeah. I understood that because I'm practice as well. I'm lately, with the teaching of Mr. Cash, really that is really in push us to understand the work of the fields. This is where I'm also practice as well. So as you said, you really try to recreate the dimension of the fields, of the strength of the water. So we learned that we can create this from nothing. We don't have to wait for the water to give us. A lot of things we can create it. We can duplicate, like duplication cup. So it's all practice. Yes.
For me, connecting with the fields is through taste. So I grabbed, instead of putting it in my mouth and biting it and tasting it, I grabbed the apple and from memory or something, I taste it, but I'm actually focusing on the apple and tasting it through the field. and then I actually get the taste of the apple. It's like half memory, half field, and I'm working with it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. For sure, I can see as well in my case when I practice, I can see that the saliva, the content of the saliva, the taste in the saliva is different. You can start to
Like
recognize.
you have that apple taste.
Yeah, yes. And what I noticed, certain things I have to touch them, like I have to touch the apple to kind of interact with the apple. But now if I walk on the woods, I don't need to touch the tree, for example. Now I can interact with the fields, with the tree without touching them. So I
Wow,
can
that's
see
great.
that I can see that we got something in our hands, like Mr. Keshe said, is inside us. This machine that we call the body is a tool, and I can see that the more we practice, I can see improvements. Also, maybe happen to you as well, where you see improvements on the perception of the fields. You see improvements of testing the differences, or you see maybe improvement of recalling the certain fields strength. Yes, so this is what I noticed as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Good for you, Stefania.
No, I'm happy because this is the path, no, of practice. So I'm sure many people will also have experienced what we experience through practice. But definitely the practice it would make you give you more answer of what we're trying to study.
And the best time for me when I do it is when I'm fasting. I actually taste it more because I'm probably hungry more. So I feel it. I feel it in my taste more when I am fasting and I grab the apple. I can actually feel the apple taste a bit more.
Yeah, definitely, because that's right. Definitely, I'm sure it will help you because then the need will be greater. You got greater need. Where for example the apple knows that maybe the fields of the apple will help your soul. And now I'm trying as well to go beyond that because sometimes Mr. Keshe talked about, okay, why look for the taste of the apple? Just going beyond the apple and going on the fields of the source of the creation, no? So that's why we always, I noticed that always we end up to unconditional giving. We always end up to how our conduct is. We always end up to, because for example, when you say cosmic ray, talk about the cosmic ray, talk about the basic principle particle, it's or the hydrogen. They all go back into the simplicity of just giving, like the mother, no? Do you remember the example of the mother with the eggs, with the 4 children and 4 eggs? She just gave unconditionally and without any expectation to the all 4 kids, and not thinking, oh, I will be dying of food, for example. She trusts the universe that everything will be okay. So then the kids, what they do, because they want to be connected to these fields, to these feelings of giving. So they give, they naturally, they say, "Mommy, we give you, I give you half egg back," and then she receive in total 2 eggs because the half of the 4 kids equal to 2 eggs. So that is when you just give and you just give unconditionally, then everything go into place. This all my understanding of the 586, where you just give unconditionally. Doesn't matter what you have in front of you, so it doesn't matter what the environment propose you. Look, for example, maybe it's someone who treats you badly, or someone who do something really bad to you, or someone says something you didn't like, or you something, doesn't matter what you're receiving, bad or good, but if you can turn into you don't get attached to it, and you just give, that is the way. So you fill up these cups, and then everything get you receiving by achieving. I'm trying to repeat what I understood. Yeah. So
Well, Stefania, we are the cup, so we give away, and the apple, the water, those that we empty will give it back. I think that's pretty much how I translate it sometimes.
you were coming and going, but I don't know if it's me or you. I don't know if it was me and you.
The signal was breaking up.
Breaking, oh, Nick.
Can you hear me again?
Yeah, now yes.
Okay, so basically we are the cup. So when you give, so when I give to the apple, I'm emptying in my cup, I'm giving to the apple, and then the apple knows when it's full, it'll give back to me and fill me up with what I need, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, that's why we go back to the unconditional giving. With that, you never fail. You just give. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone wants to add anything of what Nick said. Or we can go.
Add a little bit.
Yeah, we go transmutation. This link very well. Go Mushfaq.
Transmutation. So, we will look at the kind of like transmutation as if sitting on the landscape of emotion. We were talking about practicing of how to transfer energy from the glass of water and apple. And so, there is the feeling of hunger. This is sort of physicality level sensation or emotion. And we relate to it, and we are very familiar with it, as all of us are. And so we have emotion that, given the environment of, let's say, water and having an apple in front of us, it's easy to get to this natural emotion, the physicality that we sense, and we can use this, as you guys have been practicing, to use this to do the energy transfer. Now, this is important that we are understanding that emotion as we relate to various presence around us. And people, when they go into, let's say, meditation, they try to empty their mind through breathing or whatever else that is. There are many ways of focusing on. And then you observe your thoughts, and then you observe the emotion that these thoughts provoke, things like that. So this is kind of like the first level of understanding the thought as an environment that's impacting us and generating emotion. Now, as we proceed further, the reaction that we get from the environment that we set up or create, this is the first level of understanding that we have certain emotion that is provoked by our thoughts, our environment. And then as this subsides, there is the other level of emotion, the emotion at the level of the soul. And this is a bit different from the emotion that we experience in the physicality. So, as Nick was talking about fasting. So the first level of fasting is that when you fast, you get hungry. because of not having food for a long time. And after you have practiced fasting for a while, what happens is that once you get past this hunger, need for hunger, there is this, it's the same as meditation. You start to feel sensation or emotions beyond physicality. And then that's when one has the possibility of engaging at the soul level. So one is the motion of the fields of the material world or even our thoughts that is creating the emotion. But as Mr. Keshe mentioned in the last Knowledge Seeker workshop, instead of motion dictating the emotion, we come with our own emotion. Intention is one way of getting to this point. We come with our own emotion. Then what happens is that you create the motions wherever you are in whatever environment. And essentially, you have the possibility of changing the environment around you. We all have it. And this is emotion dictating the environment. Or you can say it another way, emotion is causing the manifestation. So I'll give you an example. I mean, as you guys were talking about practicing, I was thinking about, I was looking out of the window. It's night sky here. So I was saying, okay, well, up there is the space, empty space with all the cosmic energies that one can imagine. And me, here I am, little me in this physicality here. So the cup of all the water and all the apple is up there. Am I short of anything? I'm just a little me. I have enough up there, and I can always connect to it. Can I not? All I have to do is ask. So this is, I'm kind of giving you a kind of an idea of how we can create the emotion and bypass much of what is our physicality and connect directly the energy field, the cosmic energy. So, yes, this is one step, but then beyond that, we can also go to the creator, but I won't go into that, but I just wanted to focus on the aspects of emotion that is closer to physicality, or the soul of physicality, and the emotion that one has access to, actually very easily, which is on the side of the soul. And once the physicality and the soul is in harmony, I'm still far from it, but there is an inclination towards using the more of the soul's capacity to engage emotions, the unnamed emotions, the unknown emotions. And there is no word for it in our languages and in our system of beliefs. So it is something for us to explore. Now, I talked about this, feeling the space, looking up at the space where there's all the energies. Now, the emotion that I generated here, it's with my own thoughts and intention and my own understanding of plasma science and the space that is beyond this planet. And as a person of science, we are this is the theory. And then when we transfer the energy of water or apple from this space of energy, we are essentially verifying the theory that it works. We can do the transfer, and through this transfer, we verify the theory, and at the same time, we are the vehicle of verification. So this is science close to home, as they say. So this is, I want to talk about something different, but I just changed my thought as you guys were talking about this area. So I hope this it connects to both the previous Knowledge Seekers workshop and what Nick and Stefania were talking about. And it was endearing, and I loved it. And so I said, well, why talk about whatever else I was thinking about? Let's do something that's here and now and that we can practice. Thank you very much. That's all for today.
Thank you, Mosfeq. It's Dean here. Thank you. I was very enlightening to listen to you, Mosfeq. Thank you very much. So this transmutation, listening to this this knowledge being shared, and the way the beautiful souls, the way they share the knowledge, they put the energy in position for you to receive, and it's up to you to put the puzzle together, you know, to complete the picture, to understand what's being given. So going back to what I said earlier, reading from what Mr. Keshe was saying, our inner emotion interacts with the magnetic field of its environment, and the emotion dictates our future. So going on what Mosfeq was saying and some of the things that I'd like to try and say, and some of the things that Stefania was talking about, being humble. So being humble and giving to that. Let's take the example of the water. So making yourself lower than the water, give unconditionally to the water, so that the water receives the love and care, the soul interaction, that central energy, which is the soul. So you're interacting with the soul of the water, and you've already experienced it, as Mosfeq was saying. Nick was saying, you've tasted the water, you know what it tastes like, and you create a need. So if you haven't received that water for a little while, your mouth starts to tingle. You're creating, it's like the sun and the earth, the magnetic fields between. You're starting to create the matter. You're formulating the wish, the intention, and you can, just by speaking about it, I can the water starting to form in my mouth more. I can sense it now. I don't know if that's the same for everybody listening. But when we start giving from our central energy, from our central core, the soul of man, to the soul of something, and we become that humble part, lower than. You know, we give unconditionally. We're not trying to take anything. You know, it was said about moving the cup around or something. We're not trying to move the cup around. We are giving unconditionally, and by making this condition, the water will want to give back. So if you can be smaller than the water, so if you can be that oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen in water, H2O, if you can be that molecule that's smaller than and give to the water, then maybe that water will give back to you to nourish you, to give you what you need in the moment. And so that we can link to, and that's one example. You can connect to any energy source in any time, place, and position. So it could be, an energy that is departed the physicality, and it was the closest and most beautiful relationship that you established in the physical form, but the souls were touching. They were elevated and understood, and they connected. They have a magnetical pull, and they interact and are drawn to each other gravitationally. So that soul, that condition, that energy, connect with it. Take yourself to that moment of emotion that really transpired and transmuted your emotion and that connection. Be part of it now, and bring it, give to it unconditionally from your soul, and then let that emotion come within you, let the energy come to you, and then give more energy back, and then see if that energy, like the dog that Erngard was saying, suddenly appears out of nowhere, because you're connecting to the energy. And it doesn't have to be you even have to think of it. Maybe you're a field strength interaction that is present, and vibrating is magnetically a field strength that is giving and connecting back. And so that becomes part of you, part of the totality. And you can almost, in the physical form, reach out and touch, as Mosfet was saying, but it's always been there. It's always part of us. And this interaction could be for anything, any object, anything you can think of. But then when you take away the thinking and you're left with the soul interaction, then it's the soul of the manifestation of the interaction of the universal flow that will connect with you. And those beautiful souls are always present with us. And then we understand the beauty, the divinity that we have possessed within us. So that is a transmutation. And Mosfet, thank you very much for your wonderful explanation. And that is a transmutation that we can all be part of in any moment. You don't have to be in any particular place, time, place, and position. It's the emotion and being humble that connects you to the position that you wish to receive from, if you are of the purest emotion and humbleness, and then you shall receive.
Dean, can I add something to this? Because
Please do, Stephanie.
yeah, because really briefly, because so from my understanding from last workshop, so the gravitational, the magnetic field of interaction from A to B has to be. My understanding, the reason why we said give unconditionally is because we want to create the same field strength of the soul of the man or the central energy system. So you want to create the same strength. So to me, to interact with the water, like for example, Nick was said, to have to be sincere. Or like Mushfaka just said, there are two types of fields. There are fields at the matter state, and there are fields at the energy state. From my understanding, the one of energy states are the one connected with the central energy system that we call him also soul of the man. But the central energy system, from my understanding, has got the same strength of the fields of the creator. That's why these fields are pure, and when we connect with those fields, we can also create the perfect child. So the fields has to be same field strength, and then you go one lower and one higher. And I think also this will answer how can we replicate. He said, Mr. Keshe said also, we can recycle material, but how do you recycle emotion? So, and how you can become the gravitational fields of the creator be the magnetic or no, something like that. But so I think definitely number one, to get the water out of the cup or to connect to the creator, you have to get the same field strength. And then you got the gravitational magnetic fields of the soul, your soul, for example, and then you got the gravitational magnetic fields of the water, or can be also of the moon if you want to transmute. This is my understanding, So I have to connect my central energy system to the central energy system of the moon, for example, if I want to go to the moon, or if I want to take the water, for example, I mean, the word take already is wrong, but if I want to connect with the water, so I have to connect with my understanding with the central source of energy that is also, we call him also the soul of the man, or the soul of the water. And once I got that, then there you can, this is the connection from my understanding. And then you also, then if you want to receive, you always have to be the giver because receiving by the giver is achieving, is not receiving. So because you're receiving by an unconditional giving, and unconditional giving will put you in the same strength of the creator or the inner central energy system. So this is how also we transmute, from my understanding. And then there is a difference of time, space, and position. Like from my understanding, the position, it never changes. So it has to do with the soul. It was making the example, for example, of the hydrogen. The hydrogen never changed. The mass. Okay. And then it was making the example of the weights. So if I transmute to the moon, there is a part of me that will never change. So I will arrive to the new moon, but the way I look in the moon will be different because then I interact with the inertia of the place. That is another strength. It's not the strength of the central energy system, but it's the strength of the motion of the environment. So, and that one, it's also what make me become physical, for example, if I do it in the earth. So this is all my understanding. I don't know if I try to, because Mr. Keshe give different example of the water, of the transmutation in the moon, of the eggs, of the creator. It just humble. It just talk about the same things, but putting different name, different situation. So I just was trying to link them all together. Did you have the same picture? Do you think what I'm saying, it makes sense? Did you get the same picture from the
Stefania, if I can answer, yeah, absolutely. What you're saying, from my understanding, from my experiences, and the knowledge that is being shared again, you start to build up an interaction, a field strength. You start to understand things, and sometimes we use the physical form of the brain to the intellect to bring these centralized energies together. When we start to use the soul aspect, then we are starting to connect with what you've just said. And you mentioned something about creating the perfect child. And I was thinking, the moment you said that, I thought, wow, we could get all the souls here right now, all the souls that are present, to think about the perfect child that could never do wrong. Let's create that energy source of the soul of that child in this moment. Let's give from our soul to this child of the universe, create the energy of it, and then let's see what manifests from the interaction of us giving from our soul and creating this wonderful child. And when we all do this and we all give to this child, then we have the child of totality, a true beauty that will, once it's present, will generate and give to the soul of each and every one of us, so that we have that peace and that war within us, transmuted to a time, place, and position that is in peace in this moment. So thank you, Stefania. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, then I'll just add to what you said, if that's okay.
Nick, please do. Nick, please do. Yes, please. Good to hear from you, Nick, as well. How are you?
Thank you. Good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Nick.
Now, I feel like we've got a responsibility to, like what you said about the child, to be pure like the child, because we are the cup, and how we think, like if we, and coming back to the commandments, if we obey all the commandments and do, and the best of our ability, think good, do good, act good, be good, our inner thoughts, always correct them. I usually say I only accept positivity and more positivity, like Mr. Keshe said once. Then when I give to the apple, I'm not giving it some of my negative energy. I've purifying myself as best as possible, and I think that's another aspect, the purer you get, the easier it will be to get to that point and to connect with the fields. And I suppose what Mr. Keshe said is goes a lot with the teachings of Jesus. When Jesus said, "I am the Father, the Creator, and the Father's in me and the Father are one." So Mr. Keshe said, we have the soul of the Creator within us, and we are actually in the mind of the Creator or His fields. So everything we're in God's mind, and God is in our mind. So how we think, how we act, think good, do good, act good, be good, pay the commands, we're actually connecting to those magnetic fields. So if we think bad, we connect to the different magnetic fields, and that's what affects the environment, and that's how we grow, by obeying commandments and doing the thinking good, doing good, being good, acting good. Makes a big influence when we want to give, because we want to give, we give, we connect with our intent, and we want to give pure. We want to be pure when we give, and our cup must be pure, not with chemicals or anything like that, if you can understand what I'm saying. So the more pure we are, the more we obey the commandments and obey the mysterism, what Mr. said, thinking good, doing good, being good, acting good. We're actually giving, when we give, we're giving more pure, and we'll receive that back. Thank you.
I think we need to give something to Rick, because he needs to be relieved, because it's been quite
I could second that.
Yeah, so it's because, it's important that I mean, he's being quiet, but I think it's important that we recognize his feeling, his situation. So perhaps we can adjust a little bit our thing and move on and come to the end of this presentation quickly. Shweta, you may have some good idea here, and I'll leave it up to you.
Yes, thank you, my dear Master. Thank you. The wish of the Creator is to create the universal unified field again. Thank you, my dear. This is the transformation. Thank you. We can move to the next. Thank you, Nick, my dear. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you, Dean. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Rick, we can move to the next slide.
This is the invitation to the monthly transmutation sessions.
Maybe we can skip that one. Maybe we can skip that.
Yeah, the April session is no longer happening. It's in May, actually. It's different. So, okay, let's carry on here. Now, there was an excerpt from the 586 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. There's actually two of them.
We can skip that today, if possible, my dear.
Right.
Well, we can, needs and wishes. Thank you. The knowledge is always, my dear beautiful soul. And you can go to the Knowledge Seeker Workshop, those with the uploaded videos, please check out and be enlightened, my dear beautiful soul. So the needs and wishes, and here is the wish. We, the Universal Council, elevate every soul in Africa in peace and prosperity. Mashwik, you want to say something about as it?
Yeah, well, I'll just briefly mention, just because we need to set a context. What we will do from now on is that we will, in the local section of the needs and of various communities, we will do each continent. So we'll start with Africa and then go counterclockwise to Australia and so forth. So this is the basic idea. So we focus. Usually this place used to be not as focused. So I just wanted to make it focused in terms of making it local. So we all agreed in our meeting. So this is just that idea of learning to focus our intention and emotion for the benefit giving to these communities from the global community of Keshe Foundation. And so that's the basic idea behind this. And we'll have fun doing it, and we'll talk more about
Thank
it.
you.
The introduction.
Thank you, my dear Mosby. And it starts with the giving, the beauty and totality. Thank you, my dear Mosby. Thank you so much. Focusing on starting from Africa, our mother. So we will focus more and more, day by day, session by session, with all of the world countries. Thank you, my dear Mosby. Now we can any question or sharing, my dear.
There was another wish, a special wish, I think, that came in after the presentation was made about the elevating the soul of the Pope.
Okay.
Would someone like to read that, or do you have that? Or shall I read it?
Well, it is in the chat, right?
It's in Lissy's presentation, basically. So I can just read it. It goes.
Okay. Thank you.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul to elevate the soul of the Pope to be able to go where it is needed to go. And Claudia has a wish in the YouTube here. Says, my wish is to stop the financial war in the world and the corruption and start to spread the knowledge of the universe with Mr. Keshe.
We are present, my dear Claudia. Thank you.
And we did have a kind of a pondering question. About apple trees, and they say if an apple tree puts out so many seeds and nobody dares to take any for whatever reasoning, I believe we are really fools, are we? And goes on to say, dear Adam, poor apple tree is doing its very best to satisfy everybody. Why not be thankful and accept it gladly? And then they say, or is that too much of temptation?
Yes, this duality do that. And when we came from this oneness, again, we are understanding that we have to be, again, to go in the path of oneness. To see the apple tree again. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
I think at one time he mentioned these are the children of the apple tree. And did we ask permission to take that child out of its structure? And of course, as we consume less, the apple tree will make less apples and the fish will reproduce less and the rest.
Because if you want to be part of the universal community, we have to stop killing. So, and we have to stop taking. So the trick again is that's why Mushwak make the distinction between the fields of energy or the fields of the matter state. So if we learn to don't just get the 80%, but get the 100%, of what we need from the field. And a trick was by unconditional giving, then everything will sort himself out. They will reach a natural balance, even on the upper, making the seeds, everything will go into balance naturally.
Thank you, Stefania. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Beautiful. Thank you. Anything else, Derek? Anyone? I mean, any beautiful story?
Shweta, it's Dean here. I'd just quickly like to say something. This is just on a personal level, really. That I was having a walk in physicality just recently, and as I was wandering along this path through the wood, and was gazing upon things. In the structure, many times man cuts and burns and does things and takes energy. But when it's left to its own device, to its own beauty, you start to see a totally different manifestation. The vertical friends, they bloom and grow in a certain way that is totally different to when they're cut. And we've got so used to this position of taking, we think it's our right to do this in everything. It's my right. We don't even think about it anymore. We just do it. We don't ask. Even on a soul level, we just take. And when you realize that balanced position, that we do this without sometimes not being, conditional, and certainly not unconditional, we just take something. And then the balance has to be that we, as an energy form, have to balance that. So we can create a condition where when we let things become their own origin, back to the source, they start to manifest in a most beautiful way. And you never know when you have a seed and you don't plant it, you never know what's going to grow. Or if you take its physicality halfway through its cycle, you never see the full beauty of it. You never realize the essence of what it's supposed to be, to show its beauty for the world to see, to say it's given beauty, and that is that we're talking about the universal wishes and Africa and many other places in this instance, the beauty of what is present all around the planet Earth. And this is one structure, one sphere, one plasma that we are part of the structure. And we must establish again that connection back to the creator, the creation, to learn to not just to take, because we think it's our right to give back, to create the beauty once more, and then it will bloom, and the seed will become many other beautiful seeds that will blossom in so many beautiful ways that the creation will start to shine again, as we know it does. So this is just my personal little thing on a little walk that I did recently. And so for me, that we, the Universal Council, elevate every soul. In this particular instance, in Africa, in peace and prosperity. And I know Mr. Keshe has mentioned this many times. In Africa, there are many beautiful souls that, as a nation, they achieve much and they give. They're in a very happy, mostly happy, very happy individuals, because they haven't built a structure up this completely put in position to take. They receive, from the wherever it is, the seed, and give back to it with love and care. And that's not just in Africa; that's in many nations. We need to understand that from a creation point, from one atom to a planet or a universe or whatever it is, that when we connect the soul and we start giving back, the creation is going to look very, very different. And we all have the ability to connect to this, a centralized energy that we've spoken about, that Nick and Stefania and Mark and Sweater, they've all spoken about MOSFET today extensively. They've given some very wonderful informations, knowledge for us to connect to and to start creating the beauty. We can reach out. It's there. It's always been there. We just need to connect to it. And it's not just the matter state connection, it's the energy connection, the source, the soul of man. Thank you. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Thank you so much. Thank you. Rick, we can move to the next presentation.
Oh, there was the Pope wish. I didn't see that there.
Yes,
Okay.
we, the Universal Council, gift from our soul to elevate the soul of the Pope to be able to go where is needed to go. We are present. Everything starts with the giving, my dear beautiful souls. We are here to serve, not to be served. And welcome again, welcome, welcome, welcome. The beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful souls of love and light. Thank you. Welcome again, always, always be in love. Welcome to the beauty of the Creator.
A nice little word.
Yes.
Because I am here to serve. It's an invitation to the people who be part of the Universal Council. Please ask to your soul, is your time to continue serving to the other part, and please be part of the Universal Council or continue support your community. Of course, support all Keshe Foundation. Of course, support the connection between the Universal Council and Universal Community. Of course, you serve with the etiquette of the Creator, and please do. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Lisbeth. Thank you so, so much. So please join, follow, love Keshe Foundation. Always, forever. Come to home. Thank you. The Universal Council. Thank you. Now we can move to the next. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
All right. Well, thank you, all the members and support members of the Universal Council, for being here today and presenting another lovely workshop for everyone. And this has been the number 375 in the continuous weekly series of workshops of the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Today's issue on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Again, thank you everybody for attending, and thanks again to the Universal Council for presenting these programs. Our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which occurs starting Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And that's open to members of the public who would like to know more about the plasma technology, or if you have something you'd like to show or demonstrate in that workshop, something of the plasmatic nature, that would be highly appreciated. And we often cover many topics related to plasma technology there as well. Again, a Wednesday at 7 a.m., starting at 7 a.m. Okay, and also, of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up April 24th on Thursday. That's at our usual 9 a.m. Central European Time with Mr. Keshe. And I'm sure he will have lots to present and offer to us in that workshop. Well, I think that wraps it up for today.
How about seekers of dance? Dance and clap, dear beautiful souls. Be enjoy, always. Thank you.
Thank you for your always enthusiastic voice here at the end, Shweta, for the universal flight.
Thank you.
I think some of these new robots that emit happiness and joy will be modeled after Shweta in so many ways. Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
It may have a strangely Indian accent for the AI robot. All right. Okay, thanks very much, everyone, for joining us, and see you in the next public teaching workshop. Bye for now.